Hey everybody. As you've already noticed, I am Asian and you are watching a YouTube video, but there is no singing and there is no dancing in this video. There's just strictly me talking to the camera very seriously for 5 minutes, just like this. Okay, I'm just kidding. It's not me talking like that in the camera for 5 minutes, but it is me and I am Korean. Yee. So hopefully that gets me some more views within the Asian American community. My name is Nathan Budziak, and I am actually 27 years old, and I am a Asian American Korean underscore adoptee. Cue the lights. Okay, just kidding. There's no lights to cue, and there's no fancy theatrical footwork or any swooping in title signs or anything like that. But what there is just me talking about adoption, which may or may not be interesting to you, but this is just a snippet of really what this vlog is going to consist of. I do have a tangible website. It's www.adoptedthoughts.com, or you can find me on Facebook /nbudziak, Budziak, or you can find me on another social network, as if you don't have enough already, twitter.com/fashionably N8. So you can hit me up any of those ways. I would say the best though would be to go to www.adoptedthoughts.com. So this video really is in response to not just one, but the lack of many adoptee videos on YouTube. I think YouTube is a great way to express our views, our concerns, and receive comments, criticism, naysayers, negative feedback. You know what? I mean, all that stuff really, you're never going to please everybody, and adoption was one person or two people's choice, two individuals' choice to adopt. And I thank my parents every day that they adopted me. And I thank my birth parents for giving me the opportunity to live a better life here in America. A little quick background about myself, which I'll go into deeper detail about in the following webisodes. I've always wanted to use that word, webisodes. Is that I grew up 27 years of my life here in the West Coast of the United States. And for about 20 years of my life, I never had one Asian student in my class. I was the only Asian person in every one of my classes, K through 12. And it wasn't until I was, in college that I actually knew that Filipino people existed. And no offense to my friends who are all Filipino, because 75% of them are Filipino, but I just didn't know they existed. It was never something that was really taught in my schools. There was not a lot of diversity. But I do love Filipino food. And I know a lot of you like Korean food because you tell me all the time, oh, you're Korean? I love Korean food. But anyway, aside from that, the purpose of this blog is actually to really get younger Asian American or Korean American adoptees together. I feel like there's a lot of unity between the Asian American community and those sub-communities, like being Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Vietnamese, but there's not a lot of unity between the adoptee community, and I feel that that's because a lot of adoptee stories or situations are different in many different ways. I, for one, feel blessed about my adoption and the results that have transpired in the last few months. I actually, discovered my birth family December of 2010, just a few days after Christmas, 6 days after I sent in an email to the Holt International and then the Holt Korea Adoption Agency. 6 days is an ungodly short amount of time, so I can only think of it as a miracle, and actually my birth family considers it a blessing. You can actually find out my adoption story on adoptedthoughts.com. There were a few newspaper articles and magazine articles written in Korea by the Chosun Media Group about our story, so you can find that story there. So like I said, I really just want to get together whether it be via social networking, the adoptees, the younger adoptees, the younger generations of adoptees together to really push forward as a unified group and to create this feeling of solidarity regardless of our location, regardless if they're in Minnesota or if we're in Denmark, or if we're in Texas, or if we're in California or New York or Atlanta or Oregon. I mean, it doesn't matter where we are. We all share one theme, and that's the fact that we were adopted. Whether whether we have reached out to find out more about our birth culture, our Korean culture, or our Chinese or Japanese culture, or whether or not we just stick to the American culture, the way we were brought up. I think we can all benefit from each other because hearing someone else's story. I don't know about you guys, but as an adoptee, I am still blown away when I meet other adoptees. I get that, you're adopted? Oh my God, that's so cool. How was your experience when I meet other adoptees? Um, and the first thing like people ask me is, when did you know you were adopted? And I say I didn't. There was never a time that I personally felt that I was adopted. Obviously, there was a difference between my birth parents and myself, but I never once ever felt that they made me feel that I was different than them. So, I want to know what their feelings are. I want to know what your feelings are as an adoptee, or your feelings as a non-adoptee towards other adoptees. I know that's a lot of adoptee talk in one sentence, but it's something that I think that everybody should try to think about. You know, I just think that getting other people out there, younger generations of adoptees, Korean American, Asian American, together is going to be a great thing. And I think we all have a voice. A lot of the ones that I have found out there have blogs, so I know that they want to be heard and they want someone to talk to. Um, I think that this is going to be a great way for us to get together and combine our thoughts and create actions for the next generation of adoptees. There's an interesting fact that I learned when I was in Holt, an adoption agency in Seoul, just 3 months ago, and that's the fact that only 700 Korean adoptees are actually allowed to be adopted internationally through Holt every year now. The rest primarily need to be adopted domestically, and if they aren't, which usually is the case, they just go into a waiting period in Korea. So, as an adoptee, an older adoptee from generations ago, I feel very blessed to be here, and I really do want to do more with other adoptees out there. So, if this video accomplishes anything, hopefully we can kind of get in contact with each other, okay? That's it for right now. This video is kind of already ran longer than I expected, but I have a lot to say, and you can find out more about what I have to say at www.adoptedthoughts.com, or on Facebook, or on Twitter. Thanks.